I remembered what I was wearing. Yellow princess dress, the one mommy bought from Lagos. That was the day I became an orphan. My name is Nene, short for Neka. I was 6 years old the day they told me my parents were gone. That morning was normal. I remember sitting in our parlor watching cartoons while waiting for my nanny to take me to school. Daddy and mommy had traveled for business, but they were coming back that weekend. I didn't even know anything had happened until I saw people crying in our compound. My uncle came in. He didn't say much, just carried me and said, "Your mommy and daddy, they are gone." Gone where? I kept asking. Nobody answered me. Later, I found out their car had somersaulted in Enugu Expressway. A truck hit them. They died on the spot. Everything after that felt like a dream. People coming in and out, women crying like their chest would tear. I just sat in a corner holding my teddy bear. At the funeral, my mom's sister, Auntie Foma, came all the way from Onitsha. She hugged me so tight I couldn't breathe. She said, "Nene, I will take you home with me. I promise." I wanted to go with her. She was gentle. She looked like my mom. She even bought me meat pie. But then, my dad's elder sister, Auntie Rose, said, over her dead body, "This girl is our blood. You wan carry her run go another town. For what?" They fought right there at the burial ground, and at the end, they let Auntie Rose win. That's how I left comfort and walked straight into suffering. I didn't know it yet, but that woman was about to make me regret ever being born. The first time I realized my parents were truly gone was the morning I woke up late. I was used to being woken up gently. Mommy would stroke my hair and say, "Nene, it is time for school, my princess." I would open my eyes to the smell of fried eggs or warm custard. But that morning, no one woke me up. I opened my eyes to shouting, loud shouting. "So she's still sleeping? Nene, you still dey sleep by 6:45." Before I could sit up, cold water slapped my face. I screamed. The shock hit me like thunder. My wrapper was soaked, my hair, my nightgown, everything. Auntie Rose stood over me, holding stainless bowl, her eyes sharp like blade. She said, "Better carry yourself up. You think say this one na your papa house?" Her voice was louder than anything I have ever heard. I was shaking, not just from cold, but from fear. She didn't stop there. "Since your mama and papa die, you no know say you don turn house girl. You better respect yourself." She threw a dirty towel at me and pointed to the corridor. "Sweep everywhere. After that, go pound pepper. If you do nonsense, I go deal with you." That was it. No breakfast, no how are you, just water on my body and chores in my face. I wanted to cry, but I swallowed it because somehow I knew tears won't help me in that house. My cousins passed me like I was invisible. Uche even said, "Lazy girl, she thinks she's still in her mommy's house." I didn't say anything. I just wept, and with every stroke of the broom, something inside me broke. That was the day I understood. I wasn't Nene the princess anymore. I was now Nene the house girl, and this was only the beginning. That morning, I made a mistake, a very small mistake, but in that house, small mistakes cause blood. It had been 2 weeks. I was learning how not to breathe too loud, how to disappear in a house that was too small. I woke up early. I swept. I fetched water. I thought maybe, just maybe, they were beginning to accept me. That morning, Auntie Rose told me to warm the soup. I had never used a kerosene stove before, so I did what I saw her do. I opened the pot and placed it directly on the flame, but I forgot to stir it. The bottom got burnt. Immediately, the smell reached her nose. She stormed into the kitchen. "What is that smell?" Before I could explain, her voice had already risen. "You don't burn my soup. Do you know how much meat there inside?" I tried to talk. "I'm sorry, auntie, I didn't know." But before I could finish, the slap landed. One, two. Then she reached for the turning stick she used to pound fufu. She flogged me like I wasn't even human. Her children stood at the door, watching. Uche laughed. Good for her. Her daughters kept insulting me. I was crying, but nobody helped me. Her husband sat in the parlor like he wasn't hearing the commotion. When she was done, she said, "Go outside, kneel down, and raise your hands. No food for you today. Let hunger teach you manners." I stayed outside till evening. Mosquitoes bit me. The sun slapped my skin, and I kept whispering to myself, it was just a mistake. It was just a mistake. That night, I saw my reflection in the kitchen window, swollen lips, bruised arm, and for the first time, I didn't recognize myself. I whispered, Mommy, if you can hear me, please come and take me. He leaned in closer. Don't tell anybody I gave you this. Just keep it between us. You understand? They say help comes in different forms, but nobody tells you some helpers are just wolves in wrappers of kindness. By the time I turned 8, Auntie Rose finally agreed to send me to school. Not because she suddenly loved me, but because she had a plan. After school, you go hug this pure water. I know they feed lazy girl, she said. I agreed. What choice did I have? Every day after school, I would carry a bucket of pure water on my head, walking around the market until sunset. Her own children never hugged. They came back, ate, watched cartoon, and slept like kings. I was the house girl they never hired. My uniform was old, my sandals were torn, and sometimes I used rubber band to hold the straps together. On most days, the only thing I ate was soaked garri at night, and even that came with insults. But that Tuesday afternoon, I saw him again. The man with the kind eyes, the one who gave me bread the other day. He waved me over to his kiosk near the corner of the street. Nene, come and rest more. You don't dey waka since morning, he said. I was tired. My feet were burning. My neck was sore, so I sat on a stone beside his kiosk. He handed me a meat pie and cold water. I didn't even say thank you before I started eating. My stomach had been grumbling since school break. He asked about my auntie, about school. I said everything was fine, but we both knew I was lying. Then he brought out a small white envelope and gave it to me. Inside was 2,000 naira. Buy yourself something nice, maybe new slippers. But listen, he leaned in closer. Don't tell anybody I gave you this. Just keep it between us. You understand? I nodded slowly. He smiled. Good girl. You don't need to call me uncle. Just call me daddy. My hands froze. Something shifted in his voice, in the way he looked at me. I didn't feel safe anymore. That night, I didn't sleep. The 2,000 naira was in my pocket, but it felt like a stone on my chest. I thought help had come, but now I wasn't sure, because real help shouldn't come with secrets. Plantain chips, sweet plantain chips. Some secrets don't stay buried, especially when your silence is the only thing protecting someone else's shame. The envelope stayed hidden inside the pocket of my clothes for 2 days. I didn't spend the money, I didn't touch it. I just kept remembering the way he said, don't tell anyone, just call me daddy. I stopped going near the kiosk after that. I would cross the road even if it meant taking the longer route. I wanted to forget his eyes, his voice, the way he looked at my chest like I was grown. But fear has a way of sticking to you. The next week, Auntie Rose sent me to sell plantain chips instead of pure water. And as I was shouting, plantain chips, sweet plantain chips, someone tapped my back. It was him. Why you dey run from me? He asked. I told him I was busy, that I had to go. He grabbed my arm, not hard, but firm enough for me to feel small. I gave you money, remember. You should be more grateful. Then he smiled that smile again, the one that made my skin crawl. I didn't say a word. I just nodded and walked away fast. That night, when Auntie Rose and her children were watching TV, I went into the backyard, took out the envelope, and buried it under the tree behind the fence. I don't want it anymore. The next morning, I woke up to shouting. Auntie Rose was dragging me from under the wrapper I used as blanket. So you dey thief now, eh? 2,000 naira. Where you see am from? Answer me before I break your head. I was confused. My mouth was dry. She held up the envelope. She had found it. She didn't ask where it came from. She already believed there was. And now I was a thief in a house where I had nothing to steal. Sometimes betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It comes from people who watch you suffer and still make it worse. It wasn't until evening that I found out the truth. I was washing plates outside when Uche, Auntie Rosie's son, came to mock me. He kept humming, swinging his hands and grinning. You be thief. You bury money for backyard like rat. No worry. I'll go tell mommy again if you try am next time. That's when it clicked. Uche saw me that night. He must have followed me when I went to hide the money. He didn't ask what it was. He just watched me, then ran to tell his mother. That evening, she flogged me onto my blast door. She shouted that I was becoming wayward, that she won't let me disgrace her. But that was just the beginning of my suffering. The man, he didn't stop. Every other day, he waited outside school. I ignored him. I had no one to tell. I already have enough problem at home. I didn't want to add to it by telling my auntie because she won't even believe me. And then, one Friday afternoon after school, I took the wrong turn. I was walking through the shortcut near the uncompleted building when I heard his voice. Nene, come here. He stepped out from behind a wall. My legs froze. I say, come here. I turned back and started walking away. He followed me fast. You think you can disgrace me? You think say I be fool? I go teach you lesson today. Before I could run, he grabbed my arms and dragged me towards the gate. Just enter. Make we talk inside house more. Sun dey too much. Na play I dey play. Na you I wan help. Nene, just calm down. His grip tightened. I screamed. Nobody had. I was already inside the compound before someone saw us. But would they believe me or him? You don't know how weak your voice sounds until it is the only weapon you have left. I screamed. I screamed from my lungs, from my belly, from all the places where I had hidden my voice for years, but the road was quiet. The man tried to cover my mouth with his rough hand, whispering, You dey disgrace yourself. Nobody go help you. Enter this house. His breath was hot on my face. His grip bruised my arm. I struggled. I kicked. And just when I was about to give up, I heard footsteps. A sharp voice followed. Wetin dey happen here? Wetin dey happen here? It was a vulcanizer from across the road. He was holding his spanner and was running towards us. The man let go of me immediately. No be wetin you think oh, he said, trying to smile. Na my pikin, she dey follow me go house. The vulcanizer looked at me. I was trembling. My skates had almost slipped. My eyes were red. Na your pikin be this? The man asked again, stepping between us. I didn't wait to hear the reply. I ran. I ran with my legs, with my fears, with my shame. I didn't stop until I got to Mama Joy's salon. She wasn't even outside. I just sat on the ground in front of her shop and cried. When she saw me, she didn't ask questions. She hugged me tight like she knew. That night, I had to lie. I told Auntie Rose I fell and bruised my leg. She hissed and told me to warm the soup. But Mama Joy followed me the next morning. She waited outside our compound until I came out with my tray of plantain chips. She walked with me all the way to school. She said she would not let it go, that she would report him, that she would speak for me if I couldn't. But that man, he wasn't done, and neither was Auntie Rose, because the next person to raise a hand against me was from inside the house. When you finally survive the danger outside and the one inside turns against you, where do you run to? For the first time in a long time, I felt a small breath of safety. Mama Joy didn't let me walk alone for a whole week. She stayed close, watched over me like a hawk, and even offered to talk to Auntie Rose. But someone else got there first. One afternoon, as I was raising the mob in the compound, Auntie Rose called me. Her tone was different, calculated, cold. Nene, come here. I walked over, squeezing my wrapper against my legs. She was standing by the veranda, arms folded, her face tight. I hear say you dey disgrace me for outside. So as you small, you don dey use your body dey attract men. My eyes widened. I tried to explain. My eye didn't slap. Before I could finish, the back of her hands landed on my cheek. You think say I be mumu? You think say I no know wetin you dey do? You dey waka like say you don grow finish. Dey say one man try carry you. Why you no go try that kind thing? If you no dey give am reason. My chest tightened. I wanted to speak, to tell her the truth, that I had been afraid, that I never did anything wrong, that I was just a girl trying to survive, but she didn't let me talk. Next time, if any man come near you, na you I go hold. You hear me? I nodded, not because I agreed, but because arguing would only bring more trouble. She didn't care that someone tried to take advantage of me. She didn't care about how I cried. All she saw was a girl who made her look bad, a girl she could blame. That night, I looked at myself in the mirror. My cheeks were swollen, but my heart even more bruised. Sometimes, freedom doesn't begin with running. It begins with imagining you can. The bruises started to blend into my skin like they belonged there. The insults became part of the air I breathed. And even though the man no longer came around, Auntie Rose still treated me like I was the danger. Things got worse. She started locking the food cupboard. If I didn't finish hawking, I wouldn't eat. If I ever broke a plate, I slept aside. If I ever looked tired, she would say, Is it not the man you are thinking about? I began to understand what it meant to live but not really be alive. Then one Sunday, her phone rang. It was a number I knew, my mom's younger sister. Auntie Rose grabbed it from my hand. She must greet you in my presence, she said. I sat there like a prisoner beside her, phone on speaker. Auntie, I said, forcing a smile into my voice. Good afternoon. My mom's sister asked if I was okay, if I was eating, if I was happy. But before I could say anything honest, Auntie Rose leaned closer and said through her teeth, if you open your mouth anyhow, you will sleep on the street today. So I lied. Yes, Auntie, I'm fine. I'm okay. Thank you. After the call, I ran to the backyard and cried. Not because I was scared, but because I was tired. Tired of lying, tired of pretending, tired of surviving. That night, as I lay on my mat beside the kitchen door, I whispered a question I had never asked before. What if I run? I didn't have money, I didn't have a plan, but for the first time in years, I had a thought. And sometimes, a thought is all it takes to change everything. The first time I tried to run, I didn't make it past the gate. I had just turned 10. No birthday cake, no happy birthday song, only the usual shouting and the slap because I forgot to soak beans the night before. But that night, as I lay on the bare mat beside the fridge, staring up at the ceiling, I whispered it again. I want to leave. I meant it this time. I didn't know where I would go. I didn't know what I would eat, but I knew staying meant dying slowly. One Tuesday, I decided to do it. I finished hawking early, and instead of returning home, I waited till it got a bit dark. I planned to slip away through the back gate and head towards Mama Joy's street. I didn't tell anyone, not even her. I just wanted to go before someone stopped me. My heart was pounding like a drum in my chest. I crept towards the gate, bare feet on dusty ground. I had tied the little wrapper with my uniform under it just in case. I was already unbolting the gate when I heard the voice. Nene, where you dey go? It was Uche. He has been watching me through the windows. Before I could say anything, he shouted, Mommy, she dey try run comot o. Auntie Rose came out like a hurricane, wrapper tied across her chest, shouting curses as she dragged me back into the house. She locked the gate, then the back door. She dragged me to the middle of the room. Where you think say you dey go? You think say na your mama house be this? You wan go join Ashawo for streets, abi? The beating came without pause. That night, as I cried into my tiny pillow, something changed in me. I realized I couldn't just run. I had to plan. And the first step, getting her phone. Because I didn't have my mom's sister's number, but her number was saved on Auntie Rose's phone. And if I could get the phone, even just for a minute, that was when escape stopped being a wish. It became a mission. Because I wasn't going to survive by hoping. I had to outsmart her.